Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel Kuda La Vida. And this is episode 3. If it's your first time, welcome. I hope you can hear the smile in my voice. If you're a returning listener, watcher, welcome back. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy episode 3. I have included my social media handles in the description box below. Feel free to check them out and follow me on my channel and on my social media. Let's get into today's topic and get chatting. Oh, before I go ahead and proceed with the chat, if you are interested, I do upload every Monday. I do try to upload. I do try to upload every Monday, South Africa Standard Time. If you are not in South Africa in a different time zone, then that is GMT plus 2. So a few days ago, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she brought up something that sent me down a really, really deep, deep rabbit hole. And you know how it happens with rabbit holes? The more you think about them, the deeper you go. So what she brought up was that she's suspecting that her partner is cheating on her. And that got me thinking, because I've been cheated on, and she was asking me what the signs are. And off the top of my head, I could not tell her what the signs are, because there could be a million signs. The signs that I saw when I got cheated on might not necessarily be the signs that her partner's exhibiting. So I just said to her, if he is, you will know, you will have feelings. And if something usually feels out of place, chances are it usually is. So in this, I decided to do a video about it, about 5 signs that your partner may be cheating on you. And these are not conclusive, they are not exhaustive signs. These are just signs that I saw, some of the signs that I saw when my partner was cheating on me. And I will include examples of how these 5 signs were exhibited, how I saw them in my partner. And hopefully you'll have something to take away from this if you are suspicious that your partner is cheating on you. The saddest thing about this is that unfaithful partners have got to be one of life's worst experiences after death, especially if you're a person who's a monogamous person who wants a monogamous relationship. Because at one stage, everything might be rainbows and butterflies, everything might just be beds of roses, etc., whatever you want to call it. And the next thing, you're telling them to go to hell, or you're breaking up, or even worse, they're dumping you, and whether you know it's for somebody else or you find out later, it still stings, it hurts. But are there like surefire signs that your partner is cheating on you? Because sometimes you might notice a behavior change or 2 or 5 or 10, but it might just mean a person's going through certain life changes that are causing that behavior. Or even those behavior changes may be subtle, but they might be a red flag. So how exactly do you know that something is up? I'm hoping that by talking about this, giving you some signs that I saw with my partner cheating on me, you will get some help, because you never really see one sign. It's usually a lot of signs. So here we go. The first sign is that they might possibly, very likely, get obsessed with their looks. You know how when you're in a relationship, sometimes you settle into a routine and a certain kind of complacency because the person knows you already and you know them already, and you kind of let yourself go, in quotes. When somebody decides to, when somebody's been there and they've become, complacent, in quotes, and comfortable, and they start letting all that, guard, they let that guard down. And then all of a sudden, a person starts to care about how they look, about shaving their legs if they're a lady, about shaving the beard, grooming, going to the gym, losing some weight, and blah blah blah. And like I said, with all the other signs, if you put them together, there is a chance that they might be cheating on you. Number two, if they constantly talk badly about another person and how unattracted they are to that person, and there's certain characteristics that seem to put your person off, they could be cheating on you. Because I've seen that, as I will explain later, when somebody talks constantly bad things, berating things, disparaging things about another person, this could be a cover-up where they say bad things about a person which are not true to cover up their attraction with statements that voice the opposite. So I experienced that, and I will tell you about it later on in the video, about how all these signs happened for me. Let's move on to number 3. When your partner constantly starts fights and arguing with you in order to take time out and kind of give you the silent treatment because you are, in quotes, fighting, which is also a trait of narcissism, and that's a whole other rabbit hole. And a trilogy of books, if you ask me. If your person is constantly starting fights and over tiny things that did not matter before, you need to also, put your antlers up. Your spidey senses they should start tingling. Your sirens should start going off. Like, okay, this was not an issue before. Why is it an issue now? And especially if they decide to give you the silent treatment, chances are, if you don't live together, they're probably entertaining somebody else on the side while they're not giving you their attention. I also experienced this, and as I said, stick around to the end of the video and you will get to know how this came up in my relationship where I got cheated on. And then number 4, there are changes in behavior. Sometimes they either start caring too much or to overcompensate, or too little, because suddenly the other person seems more important than you. This could be a sign. It might be a sign, because if you pair it with, actually, if you put it together with all the other reasons, it is a huge red flag, because somebody must be consistent in the way they behave towards you, in the way they treat you, which will go into another video about how a person's language towards you, how their energy feels towards you, and how their treatment of you will determines how they truly feel about you. So that is number 4. And then finally, number 5, your intuition is telling you that something is wrong. Usually when your intuition is telling you that, when your gut is telling you that something isn't quite right, you can't put your finger on it, but it's there, and it's a nagging feeling. Sometimes you just have to trust your gut when you see something has changed in your relationship, or things are not quite happening the way, there is a gut feeling that you get. Like I said, you can't put your finger on it, but it's there. It is there, and every time you interact with your person, you kind of feel it And even every time, whether you're with them or not, whenever you think of them, if they're not around, you get this gut feeling that something's happening. If you're a Christian like me, that's probably the Holy Spirit telling you that pay attention. Something's happening. Something's definitely happening. Something's going on. So, that being said, let's get into the story of how I got cheated on. I remember at some stage, my partner and I had been dating for a few months, and we we were definitely overweight. We kind of like had cheesecake blood types, if you know what I'm saying, because we did both love cheesecake. I make a mean lemon cheesecake, just saying, putting it out there. Anyway, yeah, we were kind of little piggies, little baby elephants, if you catch my vibe. And then suddenly, I think about 10, 11 months into our relationship, this gentleman decides to start, exercising and taking smoothies and whatever meal replacement things to lose weight. Sorry, I don't want to laugh, but yeah, some things just thinking about it just makes me want to laugh. And it wasn't just the weight thing. He also started keeping his beard. He knew how much I hated excess facial hair on a man. I like well-groomed beards, and I don't like Santa Claus beard, like long and rabbi kind of beards. No, I like a proper, trimmed beard. If you know what I'm saying, if you know, you know. Anyway, this gentleman just started growing out his beard because he also hated excess facial hair. He liked, he liked grooming and stuff. So needless to say, how he started growing out his beard and going into point number 2, him talking badly about another person. There was this lady that he constantly spoke badly about how she was overweight, about how she was neglecting his son, and all sorts of bad things. And I just thought, okay, geez, I met this lady, just saying, I did meet this lady, and well, let me just say I didn't think anything of her. And yeah, it turns out he started cheating with her. And he's during the time that he started entertaining this lady and spending, I think they were getting serious. He started constantly fighting with me over tiny little things, and he'd use that time that we were fighting, in quotes, to just not talk to me and give me the silent treatment, which I later found out that he was spending time with this lady. That's when he was at this lady's place, because this gentleman lived a few kilometers from my house, and about 15 kilometers from my house. And so did the lady live closer to him, which was a few kilometers from his place, in a different direction from my place. Anyway, long story short, he'd start fights and arguments and just tell me, listen, I think we need to cool off and not need to talk. Whereas in the past, he'd say, listen, I'm coming over. Let's talk about this. If we were fighting over, if we were not together during the time of the fight, the argument starting, and we were both talkers. But now, all of a sudden, he was just starting fights and giving me the silent treatment. And while he was entertaining this lady. And then changes in behavior, which was point number 4, was I did mention that a person can start caring too much or too little. My ex-partner started caring too little because he was, I'll give you an example. Both of us were, I still am, and I believe he still is, very, very meticulous with time. If we were meeting for a date at 4 o'clock, he'd be here at 10 to 4. We'd be meeting at 10 to 4, or he'd arrive at 10 to 4, quarter to 4. Or if he's running late, he'd text me and tell me, listen, my baby, I'm running late because I've stopped over at the garage to get some ice cream for dessert. Or I'm running late because I'm stuck in traffic, or, but he'd still arrive 5 minutes before the meeting time that we set. However, during the last few weeks of our relationship, he just would not even give me the courtesy to tell me that he's running late or whatever. He'd just arrive late and give me some sob story about, I don't know, about something. It was just, I could just tell that this person was, something was going on. Yeah, something was happening. I wasn't suspicious at the time. However, towards the very end, like a couple of weeks before we broke up, that became a major suspicion of mine, because I thought, okay, what changed? If I still kept time, I'm that person where if I'm 5 minutes early, I'm 10 minutes too late. That's my attitude towards time. I think I get it from my mom. And then point number 5, my intuition just was it told me I should have listened. Anyway, sorry for laughing. This is a serious issue, but I should have listened, because I could not put my finger on it. I could not come right out and say it at the time, but I was getting major vibes of something being wrong, and not just wrong, but horribly shitstorm wrong. YouTube, don't block me, but horribly wrong. Let's just say horribly wrong. So, I should have listened to that, because everything that I was feeling was a sign. Everything I was seeing was a sign. And then with my intuition as the icing on the cake, that was, one huge cheating ass cake. And needless to say, this gentleman went on to break up with me, which was the pits. It hurt like hell. And he left me for the same person he used to talk badly about. And later on, I hate to say this, I hate to admit it, but I did a little bit of cyber stalking, and I noticed that this lady had mentioned that she loved beards. And then everything just came full circle, and everything just added up that, okay, that's the reason why brother started growing out his beard. Yeah, so listen, all these behaviors, like I said, that I've mentioned, they are not a sure sign, because everyone may be a teeny tiny bit guilty at one time or another. But it's all about what feels suspicious or isn't quite adding up, like I said in most of this video. So each to their own. If you do have a feeling, if you have a gut feeling, it's worth exploring, or maybe you might just be imagining things. That's just my 2 cents. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little chat, and feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you find value in something that I'm saying. Also, feel free to follow me on my social media. On Twitter, I'm at crazykuda1. On Instagram, I'm at crazykuda. All the information's in the description down below. Until the next one, stay safe and be blessed.